Hi, it's Tiffany and Lorraine Galloway. I'm the host of the Resilient Mother podcast, and I started it because of my own journey to resilience. I've done everything I can to gather resources, true stories, and inspiration, and now I'm bringing that to you. And I have a new co-host with me.
So I'm Catherine Tyson Soil, and mothers, we are creating the future. So Tiffany, you and I were on this train together, and I'm very excited about bringing amazing women's stories, mothers, help and resources and excitement, and just learning from you and learning from me and learning from all of us, just how to be resilient, how to take care of ourselves, how to take care of our children, because as we say on the Resilient Mother podcast,
happy mothers, happy children, happy homes is the goal. And that. Hey there. Hey, we promised you a live at 6. I'm outside, so ignore the noise. We had a little bit of a mix-up. I was not feeling well earlier this week, but we promised a live for you, so here we go. So a recap of the theme of this month was resilient strength, and we came at you from a bunch of different angles, from finances to like self-defense, overcoming trauma, just all sorts of different perspectives that we felt would attribute to helping you in your motherhood. I'd love to hear if you had a favorite episode down here, something that really hit with you, a few of the episodes really landed, and we were really very open about what we talked about, bringing up important things about our teens and things we're struggling with the modern age as parents and especially as mothers, and how we can be strong and we can raise resilient children so that they're strong in this ever-changing world of trends and followers and influencers and different things like that. And we're shifting more to just wholesome living altogether. And so much of it has to do with the condition of our hearts and the health of our minds and our bodies. And so we always want to add to that conversation. Now, to answer a few questions that came in, one was, how do you remain strong when you have other mothers gossiping about you? Oh, this is like one of my pet peeves is gossip. I have never been a person who's into gossip. And it's really hard when you hear other mothers judging each other, and maybe you've accidentally overheard something, or you just know you're treated differently in certain circles because certain mom groups invite certain people and not other people. And that is not anything that we do here. This is all inclusive for all kinds of mothers, because we all want the same things. When it comes down to it, we all want to have healthy, happy, thriving children. We want to have wonderful marriages, to grow as one with our partners, to have this beautiful family unit. Now, single mama here, I only have part of that picture so far, but that does not mean my motherhood is any less. That does not mean this is not my family and I am not going to show up. As I like the saying that is, I never planned on being a single parent, but I always planned on being a good one. That is welcome here. So gossip. Okay, what can you do about it? Well, first of all, what other people say about you is none of your business. And it's just best if you don't acknowledge it, unless, of course, it involves your kids. Okay, Mama Bear is totally going to come out. And there may be some boundaries or some things that need to be straightened out. But the thing that you've got to understand is, to remain strong, you have to remember that the truth is going to come out eventually. And that the best thing that you can do is do you. Show who you really are by the actions that you take and the things that you choose to do, and don't get involved in gossip. Don't throw it back. Don't go at the source. Don't seek revenge. Just live your life. The best revenge on anything, gossip or not, is going to be happy, to move on with your life, to let go. And really, here's the thing. You only have control of yourself in this moment. And the only person that you need to worry about their opinion of you is God himself. And those closest to you, who know you, who've known you for years, that have been your friend, who have seen the ups and downs, that know you. And we need more of that in society today. You don't know somebody just from what they posted on their socials. You don't know somebody if you've just interacted with them at church. You don't know somebody if you know a town they moved from that may have a gossip chain still going. You don't know them. So get to know them. Be willing to. There's no harm in that. If you do get close to somebody and you realize they're not for your circle, fine, but we exclude way too easily and way too fast. And why can't we be mothers who teach our children to have deep relationships, to get to know people, to have empathy, to have compassion? We're all human. We're all a part of this human experience, and nothing anyone is going through is unique. It's all part of the human experience. There are other single mothers, there are other divorced mothers, there are traditional families, there are mixed families, there are all sorts of variations in the world. That's what makes life beautiful. And we need to celebrate that. Let's teach our kids to do that too. by our example and just don't gossip. Just don't, especially if you're privileged to private information as someone like, I don't know, a counselor or a church leader, or your church leader's wife, or just in some setting, you overheard something or another conversation. Confidentiality, people. Confidentiality. If you don't know the whole story, don't share the tidbits you overheard just because it seems like juicy gossip and that you got some inside scoop that nobody else knows about and you got to warn the whole world about this person. If that's all you're doing in your life, you need to get a life. Because seriously, if that's all you have time for is just pushing somebody else down, yeah, that's no. Because you got to understand something. Pride is putting yourself above and below other people. That means raising other people up to think they're better than you, or putting, vice versa. We are all the same in the eyes of God. Do you love any of your children more than the other child? No. Now, you may get along with one better than the other, personality-wise or something, but you love all your children the same. At least I do. God loves all of his children the same. You have gifts I don't have. I have gifts you don't have. It all evens out. We all have value. We all have worth. We all matter. Therefore, gossip has no room in our lives. It just doesn't. So that's my answer to that question. So another question that came in, because we had some financial stuff that we went through 2 episodes ago with Michaela, was, where to start. And she mentioned it, there's budgeting, but there's also just the idea that I learned from Mel Abraham that and I think a couple other gurus too, but this concept that every dollar has a job. Every dollar that you have come in as a mother, it's your responsibility to make sure it's doing something in your household to uphold the family and the value and the standard of living that you want to have. And that means tracking it. And it's a tool. Okay. It's a tool and it's got to be used wisely. And there's really a lot of great ways to do that today and to track it. You've got Rocket Money. You've got different Acorn to like invest pennies. There are a ton of options out there. Now, someone who's had a lot of identity theft, I actually can't take advantage of any of those things. I still have to do traditional bank online, which means I have to keep books and I have to keep track and I have to check in. But it's actually good for me because I'm a visual person. So if I can visually see the numbers, I am able to hold myself more accountable and go, oh, that money's going there. That money's going there. Okay, I already sent that one over. And the other concept is pay yourself first. So if you're a mom who's in charge of the budget, make sure first you're going towards your future. You're going towards investments. You're going towards retirement. You're going towards that vacation that you're saving up for. Pay yourself first. And then make sure you're covering the basics. And I mean the basics, not the wants, the basics, the essential needs. There's difference there, right? If there's room for that, great. If you want to save up for that, great. But make sure that needs are met and make sure you're saving. It is a muscle that you have to learn to save. And if you have debt, which yeah, it happens. I went through it. I had 10 years of bankruptcy because my first divorce did not go very well when it came to finances. Second one wasn't, that's another story. But there's this thing called snowballing that we talked about, right? So you take debt and you can pay it off. You can. There's no situation that you're in as a mother, married or single, that you can't fix. And with all of the stress today and inflation, it's just a very essential thing to figure out. It reduces so much stress in your life. I mean, one of the number one reasons people divorce is finances. It's also kind of a reason people aren't marrying like they used to either, because people are a hot mess with their finances. When we don't really teach it in schools in the practical way, we're getting better, but we got a long way to go. I have a game called Cash Flow, actually, that I have bought to prove that point of how money works and to be your kid. So that game, if you know about it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. This game is cool because it's real life and it's like life, except for you have these different cards for different jobs. And just because you get the highest paying job doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the game. It's about how you utilize the money and investments that you have in order to make life work, make money your tool, right? So that's one way you can teach your kids. Another one is our church has a principle of like these piggy banks that are like, they have 3 slots, right? So there's, for you, there's savings and then there's tithing. So tithing is another big thing. I honestly believe nothing that we have is ours. Nothing that we have is ours. My church asked for 10%, and I wish taxes were 10%. That I think that would be more fair, like with everyone's income. Let's just do 10%, right? Could we do that? Anyway, I don't get into politics, but I like how my church does 10%. It's really easy to factor. It's really easy to learn the discipline to give 10% to God and give him the thank you for what I have, which really isn't mine. I believe everything that I have is meant to be a tool for me to serve and to give, whether that's my family or my community or other people. I don't get attached to things because they don't last anyway. Hey, and there's my co-host. All right, sweet. I'm going to bring her on because I'm sure she's got some questions she wants to answer too. All right, there we go. She's doing this. She's momming and doing this at the same time. So you're going to hear things because I'm outside, and you're going to hear things because her little cutie is with her as well. So we are here because we said we'd be here. So here we are.
So crazy. And I'm so sorry. But yes, oh my gosh. So you've been rocking, by the way, because I started to check it out. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah. So there we go.
Now she's 2, right?
She is too. And one of the questions that I had gotten this week was about being on shifts, like working 9 to 5 and then coming home and working 5 to 9. And how do you balance it all? And I'm like, okay, when you guys figure that out, let me know.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any tips for that, Tiffany, guys, because
I think the main thing is don't bring work home. A big tip that we get in high performance is to have triggers. And Brendan Burchard himself has a trigger. Every time he goes through a door, he's thinking about how he's a man who's there to serve. He has like the saying that he says. So he suggests for families and the people that he's worked with who struggle with this. It's a thing a lot of people struggle with, is not bringing work home and making that shift when you come home through the door. Even if you have to take 5 minutes in the car or something to decompress, or maybe you need to go for a walk, you need to call somebody. Don't bring work into home. When you're home, be mom, and shift into that so that you can enjoy it instead of go, oh, I'm bringing all this with me. And then it kind of all gets muddled together. And I think that's one way to manage it. What do you think about that?
Love that. I love it. That actually spoke to me, because I find being a mom again at this point in my life, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how you're doing it. It's, balance is so difficult. So I think that's really very, very good advice. So so if you're a mom out there that's really struggling to just kind of make it happen, and you feel kind of overwhelmed, I think that's really good. Take just a moment to decompress and kind of get ready for your second shift, because I say it like it's literally my second shift.
Yeah.
And it's tough, and it's not like I can even walk away from it, because the baby, they're excited to see you. They're like, yay, my best friend's here. We're gonna be hanging out and having a good time. So
I did my homework.
Thank you. You can put sticker on your chart. Speaking of which, here's
Mom,
mine.
You're mommying. I'm mommying.
Momming tonight.
Mom, I put a sticker on. It's the score.
For sure.
Good job. I'll come look in a minute. I'm almost done. Okay. You want to say hi? Okay. Love you. Okay.
I think we better wrap it up, honestly, because
we're gonna wrap it up quick. I just wanted to say one thought though, too. Like being a young parent versus being an old parent. I think you just have to approach it differently. Because honestly, I need more sleep. I need to not stress over the things that don't matter. And I just now think I put what's important first and let a lot of the rest go. Like what really matters in this moment, I think helps a lot too. Oh, we lost her. Where'd she go? Do you want to say anything to the lovely audience?
What happened to her?
I don't know. No. But all right. Well, that is us today. I think that's what we're going to have to call it, because we got to go be moms, because that's our number one job. This is real life, authentic, resilience.
I want to
right
take
here.
over the whole screen.
You want to take over the whole screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my ham over here. Not shy at all. He'll start playing peekaboo here in a minute. Okay, so I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. Please send us more questions. We kind of want to do this at the end of each month. And remember that you are strong, and
But Mom,
your little ones, you're their rock. So figure out what you got to need to do to be their rock. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe so we can share this message. We are a worldwide podcast with guests all around the world, and we want to continue to grow this community. You can find us on socials. You could also be a guest. Look for that link below if you'd be interested in being a guest on the podcast. If you know a sponsor or would like to be a sponsor, please reach out to me or Catherine as well.
Sure, we want you all on this journey. We want to hear your stories. We want to share your stories. We want to gain strength from each other because together we're stronger. And to never forget the blessing of being a mother and what we're creating. We're creating the future every single day of our lives. So get on this train with us and let's do this thing, moms.
I believe in you. Believe in yourself. God bless. And we'll see you around. Take care.